Scorpio, you ignored something. Something small. So small it seemed insignificant at the time. So subtle you didn't even consciously register it. But that detail, that damn detail you let slip by, is about to explode in your face and turn your life completely upside down. And the worst part, you already knew. Deep down, in that place where you keep the truths you don't want to face, you always knew it would come back. You simply chose to ignore it. And now it's coming back. Not as you imagined, not when you expected, but it's coming back with a force you won't be able to control, won't be able to manipulate, won't be able to bury again. Because Scorpio, you're a master at burying things, aren't you? A master at locking inconvenient truths away in the dark basements of your psyche and pretending they don't exist. But life has a cruel way of unearthing exactly what you've tried hardest to hide. And that detail you ignored? It's digging its way back to the surface. And when it emerges, it won't ask permission. It will explode. It will devastate. It will transform everything. Those strange nightmares that leave you waking up and not quite remembering, but that leave a bitter taste in your mouth all day. That's not paranoia, Scorpio. It's your subconscious screaming that what you buried is alive and coming back. The big question isn't if it will happen, but if you'll be prepared when it does. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what that detail is, why you ignored it, and what it's about to do to your reality. But first, you need to understand one thing. This isn't punishment. It's not the universe being cruel to you. It's the universe forcing you to wake up. Because you, Scorpio, have a frightening talent for sleeping while awake, for living on autopilot while pretending you're in control, for diving so deep into the shadows that you forget there's light. And that detail you ignored? It's the ticking time bomb that will explode your comfort zone and force you to finally live for real. So let me ask you something that will bother you. What did you see and pretend not to see? That look, that phrase, that silence that was too heavy, that coincidence that was too strange to be a coincidence. That moment when everything inside you screamed, "Pay attention to this," but you looked away because you didn't want to deal with it. You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? You're there now, fidgeting in your chair, because something inside you just got goosebumps. Something just whispered, "Yes, I know what the detail is." And you're trying to rationalize, trying to minimize, trying to convince yourself that it's nothing. But it is, and you know it is. I'm going to tell you a truth about yourself that no one dares to say to your face. You're obsessed with control, but you ignore exactly the things you could control if you paid attention. You spend an absurd amount of energy trying to control people, situations, outcomes, things that are beyond your reach. But that small detail, that subtle piece of information, that clear sign the universe handed you on a silver platter, you ignored it, because paying attention would mean having to act. Having to change, having to admit you were wrong about something. And Scorpio, you'd rather die than admit you were wrong. But here's the problem. Life doesn't care about your pride. Reality doesn't bend to your need to always be right. And that detail you ignored is about to prove it in the most brutal way possible. It will enter your life like a hurricane, turn everything upside down, and leave you with no choice but to face what you tried to avoid. And when that happens, you'll have two options. Go into total denial and sink even further, or finally wake up and use this catastrophe as the catalyst you needed to truly transform yourself. Which of these two versions of you will emerge when the bomb explodes? Now pay attention, because this is important. This detail isn't something external. It's not just about another person, a situation at work or money. It's about you, about a truth about yourself that you've been avoiding facing. It may be disguised as an external problem, but at its root it's internal. It's about a fear you've never admitted, a desire you've repressed, a part of yourself that you rejected because it didn't fit the image you've built of who you should be. And this ignored detail, it's the gateway to this buried truth. And when the door opens, there's no way to close it again. Have you ever noticed that the same situations keep repeating themselves in your life? Same patterns, same pains, same types of conflicts with different people? Scorpio, this isn't bad luck. It's not, that's just how people are. It's you ignoring the detail that would explain everything. It's you skipping steps because you're in a hurry to get to the end without doing the work in between. It's you trying to harvest without planting, heal without feeling the pain, evolve without transforming. And life is tired of giving you subtle chances. Now it's going to teach you a lesson you can't ignore. That detail you overlooked, it may seem small, but the effects are devastating. It's like that tiny crack in the dam you saw and thought, I'll deal with that later. But later came, and the crack became a fissure, and the fissure became an explosion. And now the water is coming, Scorpio. And there's no more time to build defenses. There's only time to decide whether you'll be swept away by the current or learn to swim in the chaos. And you know what the most disturbing part of all this is? You were warned, not once, several times, by different people at different times in different ways. But you were so convinced that you knew better, that you had everything under control, that your intuition was infallible, that you dismissed all the warnings. You called it exaggeration, you called it envy, you called it a lack of understanding. But deep down you knew, you always know, Scorpios always know. The problem is that knowing doesn't mean you act. You prefer to carry the weight of unused knowledge rather than face the vulnerability of admitting you need to change something. And now that weight is about to crush you. How many more chances do you think you'll have before it's too late? Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Remember that conversation that ended awkwardly, where the other person said something and you felt a chill down your spine, but you laughed and changed the subject? Or that document you signed without reading it properly because you trusted someone's word? Or that decision you made based on emotion, not facts, and then rationalized to make it seem logical? Or that secret you kept thinking you were protecting someone, but in reality you were protecting your own image? Any of these could be the detail, or it could be something even more subtle, something you can't even consciously remember, but that's registered in your body, in your energy, in your emotional field. And here's what's happening now. That overlooked detail is taking on a life of its own. It's growing in the shadows. It's connecting with other things you also ignored. It's forming a network, a web of consequences you didn't foresee because you were too busy controlling the wrong things. And when that web reveals itself, and it will reveal itself very soon, you'll realize your entire life was hanging by a thread more fragile than you imagined. But Scorpio, here's the truth that can save you. You love this kind of situation. Scorpio loves crisis, loves chaos, loves the opportunity to die and be reborn. You pretend you don't, you pretend you want peace and stability, but the truth is you get bored when things are too calm. You need the intensity. You need the adrenaline of near-death experiences to feel alive. And this ignored detail, it will give you exactly that. It will push you to the limit. It will make you question everything. It will bring you to your knees. And then, finally, you will have the opportunity to stand up as who you really are, not as who you pretended to be for so long. Are you ready to die to be truly reborn? Or will you continue to die slowly, pretending to be alive? Now comes the part that will really get to you. This detail you ignored is directly connected to your biggest wound. That thing you never fully healed. That pain you buried so deep, you swore it no longer existed. That trauma you transformed into armor and called strength. The ignored detail is the key that will unlock this door you've welded shut. And when it opens, everything will come to the surface. All the pain, all the fear, all the anger. And yes, it will be unbearable. It will feel like you're going crazy. You'll feel like you're falling apart inside. But Scorpio, that's exactly what needs to happen for you to finally truly heal. You've spent your whole life afraid of being betrayed, of being abandoned, of losing control. And you know what's ironic? The detail you ignored will probably materialize exactly those fears. Not because the universe is cruel, but because you need to face those shadows to transcend them. You need to live what you fear most, to discover that you can survive it, that you can cross hell and come out on the other side not only alive, but more powerful than ever. But first, you need to stop pretending that hell doesn't exist. And there's more. This detail isn't coming alone. It's bringing other revelations along with it. Truths about people you trusted, lies you believed, illusions you nurtured. It's as if pulling this thread will unravel the entire rug, revealing what was hidden underneath all along. And when you see what was underneath, when you see the dirt, the rot, the falsehood, it will hurt. It will hurt in a way you didn't even know was possible, but it will also set you free in a way you never imagined possible. Because comfortable lies are gilded prisons, and painful truths are keys to freedom. So what will you do when everything comes to light? When the overlooked detail explodes and drags half your life along with it? Will you do what you've always done? Blame others, seek revenge, wallow in resentment? Or this time, this one time, will you have the courage to look in the mirror and ask, what was my part in this? What did I not want to see? What do I need to learn? Because Scorpio, you can be the victim of your story, or you can be the hero, but you can't be both at the same time. And the choice is yours. It always has been. Here's what you need to understand about this overlooked detail. It's specific. It's not a vague feeling. It's not a generic worry. It's something concrete, something that happened or didn't happen. Something that was said or wasn't said, something you saw and pretended not to see. And if you stop now, take a deep breath and delve into your recent memory, the last few days, weeks, maybe months, you'll know exactly what it is. You'll feel that pang in your stomach when you hit the right spot. You'll feel that shiver when the memory surfaces. You'll feel your whole body reacting as if to say, yes, that's it. Are you feeling it now? And when you identify the problem, you'll have an immediate choice. Rush to fix it before it's too late, or wait and see what happens. But Scorpio, if you're listening to this, it's probably already too late to completely avoid the consequences. The best you can do now is prepare. Prepare your mind for the shock. Prepare your heart for the pain. Prepare your soul for the transformation that comes with the chaos. Because this isn't about avoiding the storm. It's about learning to dance in the rain while everything crumbles around you. There's something about Scorpio that few understand. You're not afraid of death. You're afraid of mediocrity. You're afraid of living a life without depth, without intensity, without meaning. And that's why you created this ignored detail, even without realizing it. Because deep down, you knew that ignoring it would lead to chaos. And chaos is where you are reborn. Chaos is where you rediscover yourself. Chaos is your natural element. So maybe, just maybe, you ignored this detail not out of carelessness, but because your soul knew you needed this crisis to truly awaken. Did you create your own storm because you were tired of the false calm? And here's something that will really get to you. This overlooked detail probably involves someone close to you, someone you love or loved, someone you trusted, someone you never imagined could hurt you this way. And the hurt will be twofold. First, because of the situation itself, then because of your own blindness in not seeing it sooner. You'll ask yourself, how could I not have noticed? How could I have let this happen? How could I have been so stupid? And this internal judgment will be almost more painful than the external situation, because Scorpio prides itself on seeing through people, detecting lies, sensing energies, and to discover that you were deceived, manipulated, used. That will shatter your identity. But listen carefully. You weren't stupid. You weren't naive. You were human. You wanted to believe. You wanted to trust. You wanted it to be true, so you allowed your defenses to lower enough to ignore the signs. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, there's everything right about it, Because a Scorpio who lowers their guard and allows someone to get close is a Scorpio who is evolving, even if the result is painful. The mistake wasn't trusting. The mistake was ignoring the detail when it appeared. And now you're paying the price for that ignorance. But the price isn't loss. The price is learning. So what comes after your life turns upside down? After the overlooked detail explodes and takes everything away? After you lose what you thought you couldn't live without? Rebirth comes, Scorpio. Version 2.0 of you comes. The opportunity to rebuild from scratch comes, but this time with wisdom, with discernment, with open eyes, without ignoring details, without deceiving yourself, without accepting emotional crumbs or half-truths. You will learn to truly trust your intuition, not only when it confirms what you want to believe, but especially when it alerts you to what you don't want to see. And there's more. This crisis will reveal who is truly on your side. Because when your life is turned upside down, people show their true colors. Some you thought were friends will disappear. Others you didn't even pay attention to will reappear in full force. You'll discover you can't trust those you thought you could, and you'll be surprised by the loyalty of those you underestimated. It's a brutal but necessary cleansing. The overlooked detail isn't destroying your life. It's cleansing your life of what was never real to begin with. Now let me give you something practical, because I know you need action. When chaos arrives, and it will, don't make immediate decisions. Scorpio has an instinct to react with full intensity as soon as it's hurt. It wants revenge. It wants to hurt back. It wants to destroy whoever destroyed it. But this time, stop, breathe, feel the pain without reacting immediately. Because your first reactions will be based on trauma, not truth. And if you act from the place of trauma, you will create more chaos, more pain, more karma to clean up later. Wait. Let the storm pass, let the dust settle, and then, from the place of clarity, not the wound, make your decisions. Do you have the strength to do this? To feel without destroying? This overlooked detail also has a hidden side you haven't yet seen. It's a gift. Yes, a gift disguised in the worst possible way, but still a gift. Because it will force you to look at patterns you've repeated life after life. It will show you where you've betrayed yourself, where you've accepted less than you deserve, where you've hidden behind masks of power and control to avoid admitting that you're vulnerable, that you need love, that you're afraid of not being enough. This detail is the mirror you've been avoiding looking at. And when you finally look, when you have no other choice, it will be the beginning of your true transformation. Do you know what separates an evolved Scorpio from a Scorpio trapped in patterns? The willingness to look at their own shadows without blaming the world. The courage to admit when they are wrong. The humility to ask for help when needed. And this overlooked detail will give you the opportunity to choose who you want to be. You can emerge from this bitter, vengeful, even more closed off and distrustful. Or you can emerge from it wise, compassionate, strong in a way that doesn't require you to prove anything to anyone. The crisis is the same. The choice of who you become through it is yours. And there's one last truth I need to tell you. After everything turns upside down, after the pain passes, after you rise from the ashes, you will look back and you will be grateful. You will be grateful for having ignored the detail. You will be grateful for the chaos. You will be grateful for the destruction, because without it, you would never have broken free from the invisible chains that bound you. You would never have